I would never see a grown person having a mental breakdown, throwing a tantrum in public and feel bad for them. I would feel embarrassed for them. I would never feel empathetic for them though, which is like what people do. People really feel empathetic for this.
Subscribe to this channel in case you are watching this channel and have not subscribed.
Welcome back to Piers Morgan Uncensored. Barbie has long been criticised by feminists as a symbol of unattainable princess-like perfection. The iconic metal doll is now the inspiration for a Hollywood movie, one of the most anticipated of the entire year, capping Barbie's evolution from symbol of the patriarchy to feminist icon.
Barbie, small and so petite.
Barbie has smart new styles for every occasion. For dates with Ken, club meetings, tennis.
We can be the first in outer space.
Meet me at the mall.
Cool. What you gonna say next? Listen.
Do you have a crush on anyone?
Anybody know how big the brain is? Sophia. It is medium. Medium.
What's going on? Why are these men looking at me?
Yeah, they're also staring at me.
So, fantastic plastic feminist icon or sexist claptrap? With the movie's outrageously dismissive tagline, she is everything, he is just Ken. Has Barbie actually done a full 180? Is she now anti, not just Ken, but men? Well, I'm joined by Talk.
Has she always been? I never watched Barbie. Wonder why. But fucking, has she always been like that? Has she always hated Ken, or is it just something that's new in the movie?
Contributor Esther Cracker, and also by Talk TV presenter Rosanna Lockwood, and also drum roll back from the world's longest holiday by Grace Blakely, our socialist commentator. I love calling you that. Welcome back.
I love being called that.
Welcome back. We've almost missed you.
I have missed you very much as well, obviously.
Don't
Thank
lie.
you for having me.
And you're wearing your Barbie outfit.
I have apparently been told.
And you've gone blonde since I last saw you.
You did this on purpose.
Right, I was about to say that was a coincidence.
I mean, I
You
can't
did this
say
to
that I
seduce
did.
me.
You actually now are. You are now
Honestly,
Barbie.
You did this to seduce me.
That is a massive compliment, honestly. If I look anything like Margot Robbie, I will take that.
So look, let's start.
I love how they wanted to make the movie inclusive to where they aren't showing someone that is beyond beautiful by conventional standards. Like they're trying to show that beauty is whatever you make it, and they chose someone that is unrealistically beautiful. Like they chose someone that looks just like Barbie. I don't see what the fuck so what is woke about that? I mean, obviously everything else, what they thought about the men and shit, obviously all that shit is woke, but why, if you wanted to be a feminist icon, why would you not choose a fat bitch or a diverse bitch or anybody? Why would you choose a petite, pretty blonde?
Start with you then on this, given you've come dressed as Barbie. So there are a number of Barbie characters in the movie, right? One plays President Barbie, one plays Dr. Barbie, one plays a Barbie with a Nobel Prize in physics, one is a mermaid Barbie. However, all the male characters in Barbie world are simply called Ken. So it's pretty clear where this movie is going. This is an assault on not just Ken, but all men.
I mean, I think men in general will have to be a bit kind of snowflakey to suggest they're being assaulted by a Barbie movie. But
That's so hypocritical.
kind of think that's besides the point. I mean, I think, you know, the questions that we have around this one, whether or not Barbie is a feminist icon.
Is she?
Actually, well, I think it matters less than the fact that the Barbie franchise has commercialized the feminist critique. So now you can be like, oh, you can feel like a good feminist because you buy a doll for $25.99, or you can feel like a hashtag girl boss because Barbie has a Nobel Prize or Barbie's an entrepreneur. Whereas actually, feminism is rooted in the struggles of ordinary women. It's about the fact that, you know, women often get paid less. It's about the fact that women are on the front line of some of the hardest sectors to work in care, in our healthcare system, in social care. It's about the fact that they do so much unpaid
Oh my God.
labor.
I hear that shit so much, and it blows my mind how often I hear it. I would think that I'll be used to it, but it's like, what the fuck, man? Where? What fucking job does a woman make less? Name fucking one where a woman makes less. It is literally illegal. I don't know how it is in the UK, but in America it is. And what else did she say? Fuck, I forgot what else she said, but that shit just blows my mind.
Claire's, do you know?
I mean,
Or female bin cleaners.
Great question.
I love,
What are you talking
I love
about?
Great
the
question.
assumption.
Have you ever met a female bricklayer?
I don't
Oh, the hard
know.
jobs.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I
Because
love
they don't
the
exist.
assumption that
You made
being
that
a
up.
bricklayer is harder than like caring for the terminally ill and dying.
Have you ever
Like,
been a
those
bricklayer
are-
in the winter?
Physically, it is 100% physically harder. Maybe not emotionally, which is why women are usually good in those fields, but physically, it is harder. Being a bricklayer is 100% physically harder than being a fucking, what do they say, a doctor or a physician or whatever.
But like, have you ever been someone
A
looking after
caretaker?
the
Yes,
terminally ill
yes,
and
I actually
dying?
have. Yes,
like, it's
I have.
obviously
Yes, I
a
have.
very, very challenging job, isn't it?
And it's
like,
not as hard
it's
as being a bricklayer.
but in what sense?
I'm like,
Oh my God, are you
asked me if I've
dumb?
done it before.
Oh,
I
I've
have.
missed
I
this.
have.
Yeah. Are we
This is why y'all make less.
I have done it
whether or not
before.
it's physically challenging, emotionally challenging? I mean, there are care workers who are running up and down between houses getting paid less than minimum wage.
No, I
because
get that,
they're,
but you don't make a fortune as a bricklayer either, and you're out in
Right.
the elements.
I just don't understand
Do you know
why.
what? I'm
like,
going to
eating-
also...
Dude, bricklaying is probably one of the toughest, not one of the toughest, but it's a tough job, bro. And it's a job that you have to think about your future in, because you can't be in that field that long. I don't know how it is now, but I know whenever I was going to I was about to take some classes in college to be certified in some trades like this, and bricklaying was one, and my sister's boyfriend was telling me like, yeah, it's a hard job, but it pays decent, but your back is gonna be fucked by the time you're like 60. Like, you're gonna have to retire early, and retiring early sounds good and all, but if you don't make that much money or saved up enough money or whatever, you're gonna be screwed, or you're gonna have to be working at a grocery store just to pay for your medicine or your back ointment or whatever the hell you need.
I'm gonna
these
launch a
professions
campaign.
against each other. It's a bizarre culture.
Let me try and get one single word in here.
Not
Rosanna, look,
possible.
Barbie's jobs include being an astronaut, a surgeon, Olympic athlete, downhill skier, aerobics instructor, TV news reporter, vet, rock star, doctor, army officer, Air Force pilot, summit diplomat, rap musician, presidential candidate,
God.
baseball player, scuba diver, lifeguard, firefighter, engineer, dentist, and many more.
This is all in the movie.
She's not a bad feminist icon. She's done everything.
She's had over
Done
200
everything.
careers, apparently, since she was first conceived. But, you know
Is
what?
she a feminist?
Okay, so are they just talking about the lineup of all the type of clothings and specials that they've sold to Barbie? Because don't they do that with Ken and shit? Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know shit about Barbie, but I do remember like my sister had Barbies, and I do remember her having like fucking nurse outfits and tutus and shit to put on her.
Icon.
Look, when you said unattainable princess, perfect like perfection, this is what you were thinking of. These three women here, who
It's
obviously,
true.
I think all three of us
Perfectly imperfect.
Narcissistic.
Can we settle on that?
Perfectly perfect.
we probably all played with Barbies growing up. I'm going to guess that.
Given Barbie's enormous reach now, given how many different Barbie dolls are out, you can almost have a Barbie doll for any type, whatever. Is she legitimately a feminist icon?
No, I don't think she is, but there are other toys available if
Does
you
she
don't
need
like
to
her.
be? Why
She
does
doesn't need to be.
Barbie
It's-
need to be a feminist icon? Why can't girls just play with pretty dolls?
I don't
Yeah,
think
yeah.
she should be a
I've-
feminist
Young girls
icon.
don't
I
even
don't think that.
understand anything to do with feminism.
I
They're
don't think
just
that
children.
feminism should be co-opted by massive multinational
Well,
corporations.
that's
that are
fine,
seeking
but
to
I don't
profit
think
from
young
a
girls
critique
even
of
need to
basically
learn about
capitalism.
But
I don't even
Grace,
know what
what
they're
about
saying.
if it's shaping the way young girls are growing up? That's what...
Well, I mean, I think this is the problem people have with feminism. This is why we end up having all these debates about, like, oh, you know, feminism doesn't account for the struggles of ordinary people, and it's just like very rich and wealthy women at the top of companies saying, I want more money. It's because feminism, which is actually a critique of capitalism, in part, has been taken over by big multinational corporations who basically say, look, we have 3 women on our board, so the gender struggle is over. And it's just, this is a symptom of a wider problem.
All right, you mentioned gender. The Bank of England says any...
What fucking struggle, bro? What fucking... You can't be a bricklayer? You can. You fucking can. Like, what struggle is there, bro? If anything, y'all are so damn full of yourself that you think that you're struggling compared to a man. Like, men go through hell, but you don't hear us complain about the shit. We just take that shit to the chin because that's what we're supposed to do. Women really feel like they deserve the damn world, and I blame Disney. I blame Disney for almost everything, man. I swear Disney was made to ruin the younger generation.
Anyone can get pregnant of any gender identity. They've offered to help staff to pay for gender reassignment treatment, including... Now, this has all been going on in your absence ad nauseum, some might think, this whole gender debate. But this concept that anyone of any gender identity can become pregnant is obviously ludicrous.
I mean, I'm going to start before even opening up into this discussion, talking about, yes, I've been away for 9 months, and I've come back and watched how our entire political debate has become dominated by this tiny, tiny fringe issue. We have this massive moral panic over an issue that affects so few people.
It's not a fringe
while
issue.
the climate is literally, like, the earth
You
is
can care about
politicking.
while there's a massive cost of living crisis going on. I was honestly just shocked that this is what we're talking about.
You can care about the
misdirection.
climate, you can also care about the full frontal attack on the integrity of women's sport because of transgender athletes. You can care about men rapists being put into female prisons. That cost Nicola Sturgeon her job, by the way. You can care about all those issues too.
And yet,
I would have thought you would have come back
about.
and gone, you know what, I've seen the light, Piers. You're right about this
And
stuff.
yet, this is what we're talking about.
I think
there is a reason that we are talking about this issue rather than the Bank of England just raised interest rates. That's going to mean that millions of families are not going to be able to repay their debt, repay their loans. They're going to be pushed into poverty. And here we are talking about some, you know, absurd thing.
See, I get what she's saying, and she's not wrong, but that's not what the conversation is right now. You talking about this does nothing to distract you from what the fuck that shit's about. Whenever you came on to talk about feminism shit, you came on to talk about women's rights and women's empowerment and blah blah blah, all that shit, and then he asked you one question about why trans women, trans men, how trans men can, biological women, trans men can get pregnant, and then you got on your little like fucking misdirection spiel and just started trying to misdirect to another conversation that had nothing to do with anything to, like, it's like, I don't know, man. Fucking that, like I said, she's not wrong. I do think all this shit is to distract us from what really is going on to fuck us over even more. But this is something that I don't even think it's that big of an issue to fix. Like, as long as we could all just fucking be real and just start labeling it as what it is, it would help us go on to another subject that might be a little harder or more important. But instead, motherfuckers would rather just pretend like, oh, those people don't exist. Just let them be them. Like, no, they are. They're a part of the problem. They are the reason why there's so much division in this fucking country, because there's literally a group of people that think biological men, they don't think biological men can get pregnant. They think trans men can get pregnant, which is biological women, which they can, but they will say they're a man. and then on the other side, they got fucking trans men, biological women, saying that they can have periods and talking about how cis women, they have no right to gatekeep who gets periods. Like, that isn't something that's traumatic for women. They have to go through 1 week out of every month for decades. Like that, I always knew, I grew up thinking that shit was bad, but whenever I started to like actually sit back and think like, bro, 1 week out of every month, that fucking blows. That is a fucking curse, man. Every month, 1 week out of the month, you are cramping, you're hormonal, you're just in a terrible spot, and your pussy's bleeding. Like, that's just the terrible as fuck to me. And now biological men who want to say that they're women are feeling offended because women were saying that you can't get it and that is kind of disrespectful. Like, no, what the fuck? What the fuck?
I think you've just hit the nail on the head, because shouldn't the Bank of England be more concerned with bringing down inflation rates than, offering their employees?
I'm sure this was just some sort of random thing that was...
No, it's not random.
That's
Rosanna, hang on. Bring in Rosanna.
Random bit.
Our economics expert.
If you look at the crux of the issue, this was actually probably a freedom of information request. Stonewall, the Bank of England applied to Stonewall to say, we want to be in your top 100 list of diversity and inclusion sort of index thing. This was last year they made this application. The information has only been revealed now, and I would say that is the Telegraph and other papers capitalising on the argument that the Bank of England has lax monetary policy, and they're trying to make the argument that they've been too focused on diversity.
That it's playing up to cultural
But let's be clear. Look,
and the woke brigade.
Yeah, but look,
or
you
whatever.
can have 120,000 genders, as many as you like. Only women can get pregnant.
But like,
I mean, that's just a biological fact. Only women get.
You cannot have 120,000 genders. That is so fucking stupid. You can't have 3 genders. I'm so tired of that shit, though. Like, if you want to be masculine or feminine or neither or whatever, and you want to be gay or lesbian or not trans, I mean, I guess if you want to have fake tits and cut your dick off and whatever and be trans, whatever. But you are not a fucking woman. You are not a man. You are not a Z or a Zer or a they or a beep or a bop or a dop. You aren't any of that. You are either a biological man or a biological woman. However you behave has nothing to do with that. That's just how you was born.
Get pregnant.
People
You can have
who
as
are-
many gender debates as you want. You can feel like a mouse for all I care.
Only
But you
people
can't
who are
actually pretend
born
anyone other than a
women.
biological female can have a baby.
Yeah, sure. Only people who are born women can get pregnant.
You
But
accept
people
that?
who are born women can also
Not get
become
pregnant.
men.
Not become,
And
they can
they can't.
identify.
No, they
People
can't.
who
Become
become
men.
men can also legitimately become mothers.
No, they
That
can't
happens all
become.
the time.
They
Anyone
can't
can
become men.
They can.
No, biological men are biological men.
Yeah, I mean, if
They
you are
can be
born
trans.
women, you can become
They can
a
be
trans man.
They can be a trans man. That's simple
Yeah.
on that. Why do we have to change
I
everything?
mean, I agree. I made this point to you like years ago, and I thought we kind of settled it. You know, you have cis women and trans women and cis men and trans men. We don't have to get all up in arms about all this stuff. It just doesn't matter that much.
I'm so glad you do still get up in arms about this. I've really missed this.
I swear that the whole misgendering shit started as a psyop operation on people like this with mental conditions who only get offended by it because they are told that they're allowed to. Like all the fucking Karen freakouts and all the people that were, oh, I'm a she, whatever that blonde motherfucking GameStop. I swear all that shit was promoted so much so the people that have these conditions that want to say that they're a fucking woman or say that they're a man can start to feel entitled to motherfuckers talking to them how they make them talk to them. Like, it's like if you let a kid cry over some dumb shit, the kid's gonna keep crying over some dumb shit because he just thinks it's what's normal. He thinks that's how it should be. You gotta tell him no, toughen the fuck up. Whether it's a word or someone or you took their toy away or whatever, you need to tell them to toughen the fuck up because that's just how life is. If someone misgenders you, you do not get to act like a fucking toddler and cry about it in public, call the police about it, get on TikTok about it. You don't get to do that. That's fucking weird as shit to me how people actually like are empathetic for that shit. I would never in my life see a grown man or woman or whatever the fuck you want to be. I would never see a grown person having a mental breakdown, throwing a tantrum in public and feel bad for them. I would feel embarrassed for them. I would never feel empathetic for them though, which is like what people do. People really feel empathetic for this shit. They're like, oh no, you have the right to cry. You have the right to get mad at him. You have the right to kick and scream and claw and fight your way and blah, blah, blah. And we need to fight for you to make them lose their job because they said the wrong word to you. Like that's just fucking insane to me, man. I was talking to my girl about this yesterday. I think I don't know if it started with the N-word to where, I mean, like that was the first type of restriction on speech that I've known about is that you can't say the N-word. And then it went from the retard and I don't even know if I can say these fucking words and fag. Quotes. These are quotes. I'm not fucking calling nobody that. But then it went to those words where you can't say those words anymore, and now it got to you can't call someone the wrong gender, and you can't say this, and you can't call someone fat, and you can't speak your opinion, and if you do, you might lose your income, you might lose your job, you might lose your family, like you might lose everything if you don't speak properly. I swear it was all made as a plan fucking 50 years ago to make us lose freedom of speech so that we will become just like every other country. Like that's honestly the only right that we have that makes us different from other countries. And we're on the track to losing it because of social media. When there's a fucking block button, which I should be able to say whatever the fuck I want on social media. If you don't like it, block me. It's easy as that. Why in the fuck is my speech being censored? That's insane. If I was trying to call a riot or something, I would understand that because that's like terroristic behavior. But if I'm just saying someone's a fucking anything, I don't care. If I'm a fucking homophobe, a racist, fucking anything, I don't care. As long as I'm not causing violence to someone, I should be able to fucking say whatever the fuck I want. And if they don't like it, they can block me or mute me or whatever the hell.
I mean, I agree with you. The Bank of England, get on with fixing the economic crisis.
It's the optics of this that's even more frustrating because you don't want a news story of the Bank of England, paying for their employees gender transitioning when there are clearly bigger issues at hand here. But I think it's just this obsession with companies that feel like they have to, talk about these issues all the time. I'm just happy for a business to function as a business. I don't need to know their stance on gender identity or anything like that.
Right. I actually agree.
Well, that's in itself a shocking moment. Do any of you have a view about Johnny Bairstow and the way he was out at Lord's?
I saw this. My dad showed me. This was the clip where
What did your dad say?
I have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. It's the end of the video anyways. Kind of went on a whole nother tangent. It was named Barbie as an assault on men. I thought they were gonna get more into like what the movie was about. From what they was talking, it seemed like this was recorded before the movie even came out. But regardless, still kind of something conversational or to talk about, kind of entertaining. So let me know what you guys thought about the video. Let me know. Please like the video. If you guys got anything to say about the video, let me know down below. And if you fuck with your boy, will you please give me a subscription? With that said, deuces.
Bitch, I been drinking, but don't tell my peers.